MGF Custom / Reviews.
What's going on, guys? It's Michael MGF, and today I'm going to be doing the LEGO Minecraft Additional Micromobs Showcase number 4. You guys really do enjoy these custom LEGO Minecraft Micromobs, and I'm glad you do, because I enjoy making them, and especially making these showcases for you. And by the way, LEGO just restocked these Micro World sets that these micro figures are basically made for, so definitely take advantage of that before they sell out again. But I know I will, because as you can see, things are getting... I don't even think crowded is the word. Alright, now I can't even fit them all in the frame. But anyway, so you might remember the previous showcase where I made my own custom micromob of myself. And this time, instead of having, like a skin of myself, just this time I have a YouTuber. And this YouTuber is CaptainSparklez, and congrats to him on reaching 3 million subscribers. And if there's any chance he may be watching this. Anyway, so you can see that also next to him I have a wolf, skeleton, ghast, and spider. These are all micromobs that I obviously haven't done yet. And honestly, I was a little bit skeptical on how I was going to approach the wolf, because, they have tails, and how I was going to approach the ghast because of their tentacles, and the spider because of their legs. But I think I managed to pull it off, and I'm really glad with the way they all turned out. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and move on to the 360s of all 5 of these little micromobs. So we're going to begin with CaptainSparklez, and for those of you who didn't know, I would assume you would, but either way, even if you didn't, CaptainSparklez's skin is actually a Minecraft variant of Usher. So pretty cool, from the popular video Minecraft Revenge. And you can see that this is a fully accurate representation of his skin in Minecraft and made into a micromob. So as you can see, his glasses are actually painted on, and they are right beneath his eyes right there, which are also painted on, including his eyebrows, the exposed skin on his torso, along with the exposed shirt. And you can see everything on this micromob is square, just like the rest of my micromobs. And you can see that, and just to clarify, all the black that you see on his head is completely painted to represent his hair and beard, and pretty much everything accurate to his skin. And you can see for this one, I chose a white 1x1 tile for his shoes. And I think the color scheme definitely worked out for this one, and I'm really happy with it because I think it looks just like his skin. Mr. Marin here is made of a black 1x1 tile for his head, 2 tan 1x1 plates for the rest of his head, a black 1x1 brick for his torso, and a white 1x1 plate for his shoes. The spider, in terms of design, was probably the more challenging one because in the game they have 8 legs, all of which are at an angle. And this was, if you want to keep things purist, even though you really can't consider this purist, because as it is, I did have to cut some tubes and paint on everything on these micromobs. But that's not the point. The point is that this dude only has 2 of the 8 legs that he should have, but unfortunately I would have to go into some pretty heavy duty modding if I were to make it look anything close to its in-game appearance. But I decided that, this is probably pretty decently close to something that LEGO would come up with if you were to see this character or this mob in an actual Microworld set. But more than likely there won't be another Microworld set, so nothing to worry about there, and that's why I'm doing these. But anyway, you can see that the face is pretty nice. I pretty much got on all of the eyes. You can see all of the red eyes are painted on there. The one in the center does have 2 shades of red, and his teeth are painted in a dark gray and a lightish black color. And the lightish black was honestly necessary, and I'm glad that it's a lightish black because it does stand out from LEGO's production black color that was used for the rest of the micromob. And the tubes are detachable, which I will show you right now. The spider is made of a 1x1 black brick. However, this one is obviously one of the modded bricks because it has 2 available slots on either side. If you are familiar with this piece, here is a 360 of it, just to clarify, and so you don't mess up if you're trying to find this piece yourself. And then also 2 black flexible tubes that I ended up having to trim to get the right length. Now the ghast. Man, I remember when I first went to the Nether when I first played Minecraft. Those days, and when I first heard these dudes' screams, it was the most terrifying thing ever. But, anyway, aside from that, you can see that this one is rather big. I believe it is the biggest Micromob that I've made, as it is taller than my slime. But you can see that I did end up painting on his eyes and all the other details, including his eyebrows, and whatever you call the gray underneath his eyes. What would you call that? Would you call that, like, tears? I don't know, but it does kind of look like tears. And overall, this dude, the gas just looks like he's crying. But either way, everything that I painted on here is pretty much accurate to what I would expect LEGO would implement onto a Micromob if they were to make this into a actual production Micromob. But you can see I also did paint on his mouth, and his tentacles are represented with some basic LEGO cylinders. And to give you even more detail on just as to how I constructed this Micromob before painting it, here's a look at the exploded view. This little fire-spewing demon is made up of a 2x2 white tile, a 2x2 white brick, and 4 1x1 cylinder pieces. Now once again, in terms of design, the wolf was also complicated, mainly because they have tails. But in the long run, I ended up just deciding to use a LEGO hinge piece to use as the lower half of the actual Micromob, you know, the middle area in between the feet and the top half. And you can see that I painted on the face, and that is painted on 2 separate pieces, but you'll get a better look at that in the exploded view. But then you can also see I did paint on his red collar, and that looks pretty nice and definitely tops it off, and pretty much gives it away that this is a tamed wolf and not your average wild wolf that you find before you tame them. And you can see that for his actual face, I used a separate white color for his eyes, because if I were to paint white, like, you know, the basic LEGO white onto the actual LEGO production color white, it would look a little weird. So I used my own white color, and you can see just some unique coloring overall on the entire face to really make it look accurate to the actual mob. And man, when I first got Minecraft and tamed my first wolf, I felt like it was like I had the same bond to it as if it were real. But anyway, Mr. Wolfie is made up of a white 1x1 tile, a white 1x1 plate, a white 1x2 plate with a hinge on the back, and 2 white 1x1 studs. So many buys. Skeleton is another basic mob that I've kind of neglected to make in the past 3 showcases, but he's here now, and you can see that he is pretty awesome, but like all Micromobs, pretty simple. And obviously this is just a skeleton, so there's really not much I could add to him because it is the same exact scale as your basic player. But on the front you can see I did add his eyes, mouth, nose, and ribs. And all of this is painted individually, of course, and there really wasn't much else to add. And obviously I couldn't give him his bow because, well, none of these can really hold items. But really not much to go over with the skeleton other than he is adorable. And this final one is made up of a white 1x1 tile, 2 white 1x1 plates, 1 white 1x1 brick, and 1 1x1 light bluish gray plate. So many names to not mix up. Alright everyone, so that about wraps it up for the 4th LEGO Minecraft Additional Micromobs Showcase. And like I said, I really enjoy making these because honestly they're really simple compared to the majority of my work. But unfortunately they are not for sale because these are not just something I can just do easily. I'd say each of these Micromobs took at least 30 minutes or longer of on and off work. And honestly, if I were to make that for all of you guys, that would be a task that I don't think I would be able to accomplish because there would be too many Micromobs to make, and I'm only one person and I only have 2 hands. And it's really unfortunate because I'd love to share these with you guys physically, but unfortunately for myself it's not humanly possible. And I do apologize for that. But if you enjoyed a look at these Micromobs and if you were inspired yourself, be sure to leave this video a like as it does go a long way. And yeah, so like I said previously, LEGO did just restock on the Microworld sets, and I'll definitely be taking advantage of that, and I hope you will too. And hopefully I'll come up with something with those and I won't have to post those little clips where I show how crowded things are getting in my one singular micro world. But anyway, so I think that's about it, and I'll see you guys later. Alright.
Bye.
Cat. Cat, you're not fat anymore. So you understand? And you're like turning brown here. Like you're brown. You're brown. You were completely black. Now you're brown. Did you just decide to do this by yourself? You're like a chameleon cat. You could be like purple tomorrow morning.